about it. It's fine. The scuff continues. The scuff continues. Is all I can say about that. I was just gonna get into all my difficulties before stream. So I'm getting ready. It's like 10-2 because that's when I finally got around to finishing my weekly boss running Genshin. And then so I'm sorry. So then I moved my mic and then this thing topples down and I had to fix it. And I was like, how is that even physically possible? And I didn't care to answer how that was physically possible because I don't know that answer. And then I'm just like, okay, let's move on. And then let's move on. And then my external hard drive was acting up again and wasn't recognized by my computer. And I was just like, well, now can't even open OBS. Oh wait, no, OBS was the only thing I would be able to open. Gonna open the game. Gonna open VTuber Studios. I really should fix that about that, but it's just like Steam takes up a lot of memory. I have the external hard drive, and then I was setting up as I usually do, and then my computer fucking freezes on me, and I'm just like, when will it end? Okay, but the mic muted thing, that was 100% on me. Because usually when I end a collab, I usually turn my mic back. I usually set it back up for single player because I do it differently for when I'm doing a collab. Yeah, it was so fun. I love technical difficulties. Said no one ever. Well, especially not now. Anyways, I just want to move past and hopefully all the scuff's behind me. It's like, it's right behind me, isn't it? Let's just play a game. Let's just play the game. Just move on. No need to worry about the scuff. It's lurking right behind, but you know, that's just a part of being. I don't know if it's just part of being a streamer or it's just part of being a VTuber, because kind of both. April 18th, 9:15 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. I demand more scuff. No! Ow. You okay, Asina? You've been really angsty ever since we got here. I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all. Yeah, a real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. Asina! Did you even learn about indoor and outdoor voices? Look, it's just Apollo's Cords of Steel. Get used to it. Just trying to show you the best way to revive your pre-trial jitters. By scaring the daylights out of me? No, I find that shining eye fine in a loud voice really reveals stress. It's a part of my Cords of Steel voice to work on. It must before every trial. This is why every time I say, I'm fine, I state, I always make sure to say, in the great words of Apollo's Justice, I'm fine! Ow. I gotta stop slamming my desk, man. You want me to shout? Here? That's right, here. I'll go first, then you'll try. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine! Alright, I'm Asina Sykes! And I'm fine! I think that friend of mine from junior high, and I say it all the time. I see. A proven remedy to the calm soul. I like it. Hey, how about we finish off with a race around the courthouse? The point is to relieve stress, not get totally exhausted. What's with all the racket you two? Ah, Mr. Wright! Just a little voice workout. You know, can't be the only one in the office with the court to steal, right? Hey, what's with the suit? Oh, this? I was like, oh, this old thing? I was thinking about getting my attorney's back. That's all. That's all? That's huge news! But why now? I have a feeling I'll be needing it in court again sometime soon. You know, like when a bomb goes off? I'm sorry. That was Turnabout Countdown takes place after this, so... But we can talk about that another time. Not fair! Inquiring Minds wants to know. Wow. So used to him in his casual, laid-back clothes. That suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor getting assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time, but before that, he was a prosecutor? He also uses psychology? That's right. I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his convention. Using the power of suggestion, he can make even the most stewardless defendants confess. Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot about that lately. Yeah, I know, it sounds like someone on the defense team is using it. So he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say. They also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. Ah! Knew it was gonna be bad news. Probably just hyperbole. At least I hope for your sake. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. Let's go. Okay, Apollo's a yapper. What are we supposed to do? If you'd like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. That's like, what's the worst he's gonna do? He's already... The prosecutor is already is already convicted of crime. Was he? Wait, did they mention he was convicted of murder? What? I forgot. What did Detective Fulbright tell us? I forgot. I was too busy yelling in Justice We Trust. Yikes! Turned down my court steel to you. So, are you all ready? It might be a good idea to check the court records again before stepping into the ring. Right, Mr. Wright. But I'm fine! I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck! Thanks! Okay, let's do this! The odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low. But that's nothing new! We're the protagonists of an 830 game! Actually, I mean, it's... Hey! It's Apollo's trilogy! Leaving our clients seek the truth, that's all we can do. Hang in there, Maritima. Here comes justice. April 18th, 9:30 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 3. Oh, 4. Oh, right, good, because it's not blown up. It's not blown to smithereens yet. Court is in session. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tema. Apollo's Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor. I know the big booming voice anywheres. As chipper as ever, eh, Mr. Justice? But who is that young lady next to you? I'm Messina Sykes, Mr. Justice's junior partner, and fresh out of law school. Well now, full of beans too, eh? Excellent! Makes an old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. Where's the It appears the prosecution is not ready yet. Never fear, I shall explain. It's just a mere procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecutor for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh yes, of course. I almost forgotten that he's currently serving time.
Yup, Prosecutor Blackwill's an inmate. But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Oh God. He's hot! Who's that was his back to us over there? That's him, I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackwell. Is the prosecution ready? He's so hot. Oh God, I wish just like this was on sheet too. Enough jabbering. Get on with it already. Ah! Of course, forgive me. Are the people related to this character? He's so scary. Says the one who everybody was calling a demon. Very well, Prosecutor Buckville. Your opening statement, if you please. Ah! Oh, what's the matter? Must we continue to fizzer a time like this? It's all right there. It's all right there in the admitted. An opening statement would be pointless. Pointless? Oh, well... Looks like the cat, or in this case, the prosecutor, has the judge's tongue. That wouldn't be the first time. But, you know, that prosecutor is also behind bars, or probably already executed. That was like 10 years ago. Actually, 11 in the time of Still Destiny. But we need an opening statement as an overview for the case at hand. Is it okay, Your Honor, if the defense gives it? Well, then, your baldness. If it would be so very important to you, why don't you do the honors? Who? Me? There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things. And then decide they no longer want them in there. Once it's theirs. A selfish old fool. Huh? Wait. Was that the prosecution's opening statement? Old daughters such as you are a plague upon the young. Okay, I'm not used to the prosecutor making fun of the judge, because usually that's the Polo's job. My bad. I pity your poor grandchildren, or is it great-grandchildren? All these years, I thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job, but I suppose I could give it a try. Might be a nice pace, change of pace. What? He actually fell for that? That must have been the power of suggestion Mr. Wright was talking about. The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rexig Kyobai, the alderman of the Nine-Tailed Vale. And the defendant, Denian Tema, mayor of Tema Town, is is accused of his murder. And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested? His prints were on the murder weapon. But was it really the murder weapon? Plus, he had a motive. The elimination of the biggest roadblock to the marsupial merger. The caretaker and the secretary. The other potential suspects both have alibis. Yeah, they're each other. And his daughter, who is also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, has no motive. So in a nutshell, I have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible. Unconvertible. Bravo, your boldness. Your years of experience shine bright like your head. Ho ho ho, flattery would get you everywhere. Your Honor, you're supposed to be non-biased! We get Belsy Gove here. Can she be the one judge proceeding over this? He's playing Simon Says as the judge. Moving right along now. Let's hear from our first witness today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I am the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and also be keeping tabs on old Blackwell here. I also heard that you'd be providing protection if it ever came to that. It would seem that I have been sorely underestimated. Wait, who's protecting who from what? Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around. Even old Blackwell here. Fulbright. Save your platitudes for funerals. Go on with your statement. Ha ha ha! That's the spirit! Justice must be swift and true! I see it in your eyes. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up on you. Prosecutor Blessquill doesn't seem to intimidate Detective Fulbright. Well, you know what they say, ignorance is bliss. Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackwell. He's so oblivious! Now let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright. Can I just get on again with saying, fucking love Fulbright. He's no Gumshoe, but I mean, without Gumshoe, we're gonna need someone to fill in the shoes of a silly big himbo detective boy, man. You got it. But first, I'd like to say that to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail. All right, but Fulbright, you're forgetting that Apollo's last name is Justice. So therefore, yes. Alderman Kubai was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Dimmy and Tamara, were found in the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman Kubio was asleep from a drug he was unwittingly ingested. Mayor Tema attacked the helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake. He grabbed the statue and struck back. Alderman Kubai has been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug. That's right. The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. Here's the officer report to prove it. Oh, thank you. But will it be updating? Oh, wait, no, sorry. That would be the job of the chief prosecutor. Sorry, that's the one thing I know about this game that I shouldn't know yet. What happens when it was in the fucking trailer? And the victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear? That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Let's read the observatory report. Oh, cause of death: stabbed to the spear. Estimated time around 3:20 p.m. The victim has been in a drug-induced slumber. Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast. Don't try to brush it all off by saying the Elderman had been a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear? Never heard of the incredible feats of a man which is capable in a pinch, have you? Like a samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in the clique. I know. So sounds a little far-fetched. If we're gonna ask questions, shit, I forgot his name. There was a wrestler in the imprisoned turnabout. What was his name? I'll take official or English translation for anybody. I'm blanking on his name. Okay, don't mind me. I'm just Googling the name. I feel like this ain't cheating. Do 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 do. Oh, actually, it's Captain Turnabout, but. Oh, Rococo Carrieto. Yeah, that's him. He might still be in prison. Who knows? We don't know what happened to him. Doesn't now. Then perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade. No, I didn't sign up for this! And so your life is spared. For now. Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die! Haha! My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof. Or my name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. Alright, then we're never gonna see you again? The accused prints were on the weapon, and he's the only one person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence, wouldn't you agree, your baldness? The defense is sounding guiltier by the minute. He has the judge leaning towards a guilty verdict, and the trial's really just begun. Apollo! Exercise your right to cross-examination! What more? A curious rumor about the accused is making rounds. They say that he seeks the merger for the purpose of freeing Tematoro from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can. No! Apollo's not a clone trooper! Perhaps he's a complete nutter and really doesn't seek release of an imaginary demon. Either way, he's raving mad and more capable of murdering the Elderman. Order! There will be no gossiping in my court. Your boldness. Please take a gander at the oaths and charms plastered around his cranium. I heard they meant to keep him safe from the possession by the demon Tematoro. He just doesn't take them off because he's Father of the Year, okay? Can we drop that part? That's well approved. He may have an ugly face, but he's a great dad. Then again, perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold, the lunatic appears poised to lunge at you any moment. Deep! The rumors that Quarks and Meritema have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think. Sina? I mean, I guess we only know that when Apollo went to meet with him. Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they? The prosecution will refrain from the dragging our client's reputation through the mud. Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here. Phew, thanks for that lifeline, Lucina. Careful, Apollo. He has the judge dancing at the palm of his hand. The power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impressions to suit his objectives. This guy's really a bad news. In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself, despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? None other than this statue, right here. It appears to be a statue of the two strange creatures locked in battle. Two yokai, to be exact. One side is the nine-tailed fox, on the other, Tematoro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It is as though this very case was rendered in art. I mean, you're literally in a video game, so what do you expect? Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Finally! Took long enough.
Hold it!
So, those weapons on the walls for Uptalk's chamber, I presume those are real. Don't you think keeping real weapons around like that is real dangerous? No matter what he collected, the element insisted that it was the real deal. For instance, he had a real demon club in his possession. Apparently one of his ancestors claimed that after defeating a demon in battle. What? That's gotta be an old wives' tale. Ha ha! The Enderman had a pure, unadulterated justice flowing through his veins. Whatever he did it right! We lost the real champion of justice in his death! Nothing but claptrap and balderdash if you ask me. Now you stop bleeding and tell us about the weapon. Your wish is my command!
Hold it!
It doesn't make sense if you think about it. Prince could be easily wiped off. You do have a point there. I'd venture to say he did not wipe off the prince because he could not. What do you mean? Looks like he wants you to figure it out. Then just stand there! Show him who's boss! I'm totally lost. So why don't you just tell me the answer already? I don't think he saw that plea for help. You're feeling alright, kid? Running a fever, perhaps? I wish trials came with a reset button. Oh, but Apollo! But they do! Well, the fix may not come to light yet. Perhaps please proceed, Detective Fulbright. think of it, a coffee cup was found on the floor. Was the sedatives in his coffee? Bingo! We found traces of a sleeping agent all over the inside of the cup. And that is why he was out cold. That is until he leapt to his feet upon being impaled by the mare. What an awful way to wake up. A rather stimulating eye-opener if you ask me. I too would have risen to attack. For to die in battle is the samurai way. Paradise awaits fallen heroes. But that hole in his stomach would make eating a challenge. Prosecutor Blackwell, please! These morbid jokes of yours have no place in this court! I found it kind of funny. Says the jester in the detective's disguise. Moving right along! I like how you paid no mind to what you said.
Hold it!
So the other man was drugged because he was really strong. Did you see those rock-hard muscles of his? No. I'm surprised the spirit even managed to pierce that armor like musculator. I admit it, I'm completely jealous of that righteous body of his. Ha ha ha! Well, he did look pretty buff. That suit he had on. Quite a difference when compared with a yellow belly like you. Yellow belly? Who even says that anymore? Yeah, and the color's all wrong, too. Oh, I know! How about a squishy red tomato? I move to strike both your comments from the records. Mr. Justice's character is not the issue. Thank you, Your Honor. Now, let's get back to what happened after the far more muscular admin was about. Your Honor! I'm hurt! Yes, well, your average person would likely have died on the spot. But there was suddenly a...
Hold it!
Could he have really attacked his attacker from being impaled with that huge spear? Absolutely! After all, he was once a pro wrestler. The injustice of being drugged and then speared was answered with a righteous counterattack. But does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman? Absolutely! After all, he was one of the good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he could still don his superhero disguise in times of need.
Objection!
You need to lay off the comic books, detective. We're talking about real life here. Setting aside the half-wits frights of fantasy, and fact is this. The court ordered post-mortem concluded that the victim moved after his screwing. So he found the strength somehow to attack his attacker, huh? Detective Fulbright's testimony sounds alright. Airtight. No wonder he's so confident. No, he only thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. That part about the other man fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked. My big issue is this.
Objection!
And I think the game came to the same conclusion that I did. If the Elderman struck the mayor with that statue, how are there no fingerprints on the statue? And you can't say you can't say he was wearing gloves. That's Elderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the Elderman struck back after the mayor put his spears through him? But the statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory. It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the there are no fingerprints! There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'd notice that the Elderman isn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe that he was quite gloveless indeed. If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? Ah! This can't be happening! Did I arrest the wrong man? Consider it Apollo! You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse. Well, it's just 1 point in our favor. Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the Elderman? Well, if it wasn't the Elderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there was a third party there in the Fox chamber? Exactly. This could be the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Belkville, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion? Least you could do is look at me while you being dismissive. Your mind's as dull as an unhard blade, Justice Dono. Justice Dono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks. It will take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. A weep such as you have no hope against my superior swordsmanship. I don't even have a sword. This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Backbill. There is the perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. You might recall that the blood-stained cloth found at the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens that the blood was the mayor's. So, what are you getting at? On your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle and you shall see the hole you sought for is but an illusion. Now let's see. How was that cloth used? How was it used? It can't be to wipe up blood. It would be... Wait, let me... Do I have it in my evidence? No, I don't. So, fuck, can't really look at it. I'm gonna say to wipe up blood! Maybe the cloth was used to wipe as much of the mayor's blood as possible off the statue. In the process, the culprit abundantly erased the Elderman's fingerprints as well.
Objection!
But the mayor did not bother to wipe away his own fingerprints on the murder weapon. Why would he wipe down one weapon but not the other? Careful now. Use what little brains you have left before you speak. Me a do-over that one, please. Maybe the Elderman wrapped the statue in cloth. In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Ah! Precisely. A bully for you, boy. Oh, it was nothing. Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you too. You just closed the hole for the prosecution. I did? Ah, I did! Right. That statue was wrapped in cloth, would leave no fingerprints. It's plain as day. But this also proves that there's no holes in our theory as the Elderman striking back. Oops. Ah! Now do you see how dull your mind is? I'll make sure to sharpen it next time. Particularly frightening inmate once told me that. He always tenderly honed his blades before he went to work. Like the samurai of yore. Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time. Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef? It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones safe. The only ones there after all. I was kind of attached to that whole. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. Find anyone's fingerprints on the statue. Who's to say someone other than the Elderman didn't hit the mayor? Someone other than the Elderman didn't hit the mayor with it. Why didn't I think of that? Anyone could have not left prints on it. And who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady. There's only one answer. The real killer! Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence do you have? I'll give you evidence, alright? Sina, shut. We don't have the evidence. Sina, are you sure about this? We don't really have the evidence. To borrow your words, Apollo, I'm fine! Take a look at this! Black feathers and tracks, allegedly from a yokai, were found at the scene. I believe they were from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue. Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed the Elderman? That's exactly what I'm suggesting. I am not with my partner right now.
Objection!
No, Asina, you just lost what little credibility we had left. Ah! Sorry, guess I got carried away. Mr. Justice, we had no time to deal with objections between members of the defense. Sorry, Your Honor. It's just like... This kid is still, well, a kid. Calm down, Apollo. You're like 5 years older than her. Ouch. You meanie! I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright! As I jokingly said earlier in this week when I was thinking about this, these two definitely give off sibling vibes! And like I said, Apollo, Phoenix has been giving off dad vibes before he was a dad! So, this is the court to believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it. No, Your Honor. I believe that they are a fabrication. The real killer wants us to believe that some sort of monster murdered the Elderman. Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would want to do that? Why indeed? Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is. Hey, Your Honor, I've been a lawyer for like a whole year now. Ouch. This I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright. Also, Asina, you don't have, I just remembered, Asina doesn't have to report it to Phoenix. Phoenix is in the gallery. Boy. Fulbright. Explain to his boldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks. What? You mean you can explain all of that? Ha ha ha! Our investigation is probably without equal. I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession. No, you're thinking it, Polo? This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush the oppression to the marsupial merger. Maritema panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters. So he struck the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer. Those feathers and tracks stroke villagers' fears. Absolutely! He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the Elderman was slain by a demon. He accused the demon Tematoro, that is. Tema who? Tematoro! Tematoro, the legendary demon locked away inside the forbidden chambers. Villagers. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black feathered demon, and thus they are blinded to other, more plausible explanations. Hold on for a second. Before we start letting our imagination start wild, isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect? Mr. Justice, please explain yourself. On the day of the incident, there was a special event held on the Kibra Manor. As part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tematoro. Obviously, this person is much more likely a suspect than any legendary demon.
Objection!
Dulliard, you're playing right into the killer's mind games. What? Listen here. The feathers and the tracks were merely a red herring. The villagers believed the murder to be the works of real Tematoro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tematoro suit is the killer. Ha! The defendant sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect the blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the Elderman. And thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe that Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself. Fool, right? Right! The mayor's last-ditch effort was to stop the operation before things got crazy. The Amazing Ninetales was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he was one of the better-known master wrestlers and the hometown favorites. Is this the part where we tell that the Amazing Ninetales is, in fact, the victim? And that's why the mayor panicked and set on the path of injustice. But do people of Ninetales Vale really believe a yokai is behind the scene? Yokai sightings are everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I must say, a crime that preys upon the innocent, impressionable minds. Just so. A particular Sentinel inmate once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest prey. You don't say! Was this inmate a comic artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually felt sorry for the poor chap. Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey? Yes, well, can I begin my cross-examination, please? Now then, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination. Thank you, Your Honor. Feathers and tracks.
Hold it!
Detective Fulbright, is the anti-merger movement really that strong? Oh, absolutely. They parade around in yokai costumes, shouting, "Down with Mayor Tenma!" And just the other day, they stormed the Tenma City Hall, claiming it was a den of vipers. But when the accused showed his face, the angry mob scattered like leaves upon the autumn wind. For you see, a lowly yokai are no match for Tematoro, the dark lord of their kind. Wait, are these villagers scared of Mayor Tematoro? I'm confused. I think he means Mayor Tenma. It's easy to get the wrong impression about the guy. Detective Fulbright, why do you suppose the defendant would come to this defendant commit such an act.
Hold it!
The Amazing Ninetales. No one knows his true identity, right? That's right. And he was a lone wolf. In other words, he didn't belong to a wrestling federation. He was apparently just like a shooting star, defeating one Tema Town wrestler after another. And before anyone knew it, he was champion. Like the same lives the viewer, surrounded sick with enemies. He cut them down one by one. It was complete and utter loss for the face of for the Temato Pro Wrestling. He was amazing. Even if there was a real superhero, it would be him. I dream of becoming a true champion with justice like him someday. I bet Detective Fulbright would be a great pro wrestler. He'd even team up with the prosecutor Broadquill, a police detective and a prisoner in chains. You know, I think people actually would pay to see that. I know I would. Ha! So you do understand the greatness of this The Amazing Ninetales? No.
Hold it!
Did the murder and yokai evidence really stroke the villagers' fears? Absolutely! It had an immediate effect. The pursuit and return of the dreaded Tematoro has had them shaking in their boots. Oh my! Is it really that bad? That's suspicion lot. As if Jack the Ripper has been set loose in their village. The mere thought of that demon lurking about is enough to spark a mass exodus. I see. That's a very plausible persuasive argument. The mere thought of his honor buying into Simon the Psycho Slasher's words makes me want to spark my own exodus out of the courtroom right about now. So you see, there can only be one reason why anyone would plant those feathers in tracks.
Hold it!
But it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it off with murder? What do you mean? You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stroke the villagers' fears. So if so, why stop there? Why murder Alderman Kubiai? Excellent point. It is, isn't it? Your Honor agrees. Therefore, there's no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
The Honor agrees. Perhaps the killer was on the spur of the moment. You're saying it wasn't premeditated? From the outset, I had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery. A startling discovery? I don't like the sound of that. Alderman Kubiai's secret identity. Apollo. I think Prosecutor Blackwell has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder? This is not good. This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. From the mask worn by the Amazing Ninetales. Therefore, we conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Oh my, but why would it have been there? The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more? Well, good job, Beyond. Could it really be? Your baldness has had an epiphany, I see. Our victim, Rex Kubiai, was the Amazing Ninetales. And the mayor's discovery of this fact was his motive for murder. So! Order! Order! What a shocking development. The motive clearer than crystal. What do we do now, Apollo? I didn't think they'd tie the other man's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder. At least we have reached my real point. Why did the other man have to forge a secret identity? Doesn't that pique your interest, your baldness? I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona. Just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement. Very astute of you, your baldness. Right! Now let's take a look at this! If you value your dearest life, you will merge Ninetales' veil with Tematown. This blackmail letter was found in Elderman's Cubia's secret pocket. But what? At present, the Elderman's wife was in the hospital, and the letter is clear evidence that the mayor was blackmailed by him by threatening her life. Wait, didn't the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tema go missing? Right after the Elderman's murder. You think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder? And planted it into the Elderman's pocket? Possible, but we don't have any proof that that's what happened. Talk about being a creek without a paddle. Mayor Tema would make a clean getaway if he just left after planting the yokai things, but he was knocked out cold by his sudden decision to kill the Amazing Ninetales. So it was the Amazing Ninetales counterattack that brought the entire crime to light. Wait a sec. Hold on, let me look at the court records. Why then, pray tell, would we have found the mask by the riverside? Fulbright's claiming that the mayor killed the other man after planting the yokai evidence, and that the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that. Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony. Mayor Tema killed the sleeping Elderman after planting the feather in tracks. So let me get this straight. You believe that the mayor planted the yokai evidence before the murder, not after? Absolutely. And then he was knocked out cold by the Elderman's last punch. He wouldn't have had a chance to plant the evidence after that. Something's not right here. Hard to believe that a stiff, humorless man like the mayor could be behind such a stunt. Ugh! We have to do something, Apollo, before they pin it all on the mayor. Then we're gonna need to prove that Mayor Tema didn't plant the yokai stuff. How are we supposed to do that? It's... Wait, hold on. Peekaboo, I found you yokai of the Amazon. is gonna be a stretch.
Objection!
Detective Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair. What's this? You dare question my justice again? Yes, and I'm going to prove it to you. Take a look at this photo. This is the crime scene photo. And what does this prove? It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted. But I already told you they were planted before the murder. The defendant planted the yokai evidence and then was knocked out while killing his victim. But that would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear that the feathers were... But when the feathers and tracks were left. We just point to one of the feathers above the blood. Up. 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 Aren't you just pointing to the yokai feathers? Aren't you just pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice? Yes! And see how the feathers are on top of the blood? And the tracks were made in blood? In other words, the yokai evidence could only be a result after the murder. The mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman. But you said it yourself. The mayor had been knocked out unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been someone else besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene. Ah! There must be some mistake. Order! Order! But where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you? Ha 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 ha! Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness testimony for you. You do? But how? He's doing the thing! I love this man! Was my fault sense of justice really just that fake? He's talking this really hard. Mr. Justice, what is this testimony regarding a third party that you have claimed to have? I have it right here, Your Honor. It is the sworn testimony of Mr. Tema's daughter. The witness, Jinxie Tema, saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene. It was the demon Tema Toro. He's the source of those feathers and tracks. Well, someone please say something. The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means. You dare to mock this court and justice itself. You're unfair to bet your name, boy. Your baldness. It appears our defense attorney here is delirious from exhaustion. Apollo! Think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court! What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please hear me out. Hear me out? Very well, Mr. Justice. I'm all ears. But you better explain yourself well. What was this yokai you were talking about? Well, it's all right here in the statement here. Jinxie Tema says she saw Tema Toro. After she discovered the crime scene and called the police, she came around the corner in the hall, and there it was. That she saw Tema Toro fleeing towards the floor. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left the feathers and tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise. But what? How incredibly unjust! Why haven't I heard about this before? The defense just proved that there was someone else. So the mayor wasn't killed? Was this all just a setup? Is the prosecutor... Apollo! The momentum shifted in our favor. It's not gonna last long. Good. Well, let's keep it that way. No, we're not gonna keep it that long.
Objection!
Called it. little do you realize that those you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken. My sword? I didn't know I had one to break. Okay, Blackwell. Apollo's not Renosuke. Renosuke is the defense attorney with the sword. Even though it's not technically his, it's Cosmo's. Are you implying that there's a problem with my claim? Is that is the claim literally is the claim literally gonna be, how can we trust her? She's the defendant's daughter. Is that literally where that argument's going? Is this literally where the argument's going? That fool in that flop would have seen him. Fool and flop. Oh, you mean Fletch and Lapel? Now you mention it. Both Phineas Fletch and Florence Lapel were in the foyer at the time, but they hadn't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you ever conclude that the yokai was but a figment of the scared little girl's imagination? Okay, good. At least the argument's not, she's protecting her dad. The defendant. Why didn't those Tematoro impersonator pass by? Why don't we ask them ourselves? I was just about to say that myself. No, really, I was. Then the defense likes to call Mr. Phineas Fletch, the caretaker of Takiyobai Manor, to the stand. I know. Oh, he just must have something. I suppose we can't ignore the fact that the little girl believes she saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackwell. I understand that Mr. Fletch is enjoying a nap out in the lobby. I knew that Tanuki was a rare find, but when we captured him, I didn't think he'd end up as a witness. Do with him as you will. Did he just say capture? No, wait. I don't want to know. Well then, bailiff, please go wake the Mr. Fletch and escort him to the witness stand. I don't think he sounds really that hard to find. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please? Name's Fletch, Phineas Fletch, caretaker at the Takiyobai Manor. Oh, and this is for you, your lordship. A little something I thought you might like. What a fabulous pair of shoes. And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Fletch. Ah, it's those shoes again. Don't they belong to Detective Fulbright? Don't tell me Fletch stole them again. They're all yours, your honorship, sir. What? But they seem awfully expensive. Yep, too expensive for me, but I reckon they'd be perfect for something like your lordship. It's a kind of gesture, but legal ethics dictates that I cannot accept such gifts. Essex mystics. Take them if you want them. Polish them up real nice for you, too. I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Fletch, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear whether you saw Tematoro in the foyer after the murder. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the fort, just like Mr. Kubai asked. I was making sure no one fair, foul, or fishy, or otherwise could get to our guests. I was still in the office keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. No story. Now, yokai, you keep jabbering on about was a phantom of the little girl's dreams. So you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Tematoro? Yep, was guarding the whole time. That's the truth, the holy truth, and the nutter butter to the truth. And Tematoro? Bah! You don't really believe that in that old yokai mumbo jumbo, do ya? I certainly don't. My bracelet. It's something the matter, Apollo? My bracelets keep squeezing my arm. Really? So you think Mr. Mr. Flinch has been lying to us? I wouldn't rule it out. Now, if I could just zero in on the tell, or some sort of nervous habit. Yeah! What the? What's the hawk doing in here? Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Taka. He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse. Made it his new home, in fact. He doesn't live with you, you know, in jail. Whoever heard of a courthouse bird? Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud. And those career powers of yours seem to have offended my dear Buzz and Buzzard. This isn't some sort of trick or... Ah! I won't be able to spot a squat like this. What the heck's going on around here? Run for the heels. No pets or animals allowed in the courtroom. What if we need them to testify? Your Honor, what if we need them to testify? Hey, just so y'all know, I had to deal with at this point already in the lawyer games I played, I had to cross-examine 2 different animals. A parrot and a monkey. Ah! Somebody help! Oh, he's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you. Say when truly famished. And that a cry is prosecuted by Phil. Will you ensure your feathered friend is properly fed? Looks like we have to do this the old-fashioned way. We'll be fine, I think. If there was someone dressed as Tematoro there, Flinch would have seen him. We'll just have to pull our face and Jinxie's statement for now. Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination. Taka's just still on the judge's head. I hope Taka's there the whole time. I like Taka. I just like birds. Hold it! Mr. Flint, why did Elbering Cubi have you handle the guard duty? Just me, and I'm the man that's caretaker after all. So you took his said guard duty seriously. Not me, Yikes! Oh, no, Taka is no longer on the judge's head. Aw, sad. Listen here, you little tanuki. Get straight to the point and be quick about it. The court wishes to hear what you did or didn't see in the foyer, not else. Yes, of course, sir. Right away, sir. Black Bill's got him completely under his thumb. Like I said, I was got in the foyer of the entrance that day.
Hold it!
So no one could get to him. Sounds like his security was pretty tight. That's because there is always lots of sneaks and thieves around this festival time. And the solution to entrust the mere security to a thief. That's not even funny. Maybe it's a matter of stopping thieves by hiring one. After all, it takes one to know one. I don't know, it seems more like letting the fox guard the hen house to me. So the witness testifies that he took his guard duty seriously. Yeah, sir, your honorship, sir. I was in my office keeping good watch it.
Hold it!
Did you really keep an eye on the foyer the entire time? Poor old Itchy. I'm working hard my whole life. Only to be smeared by some green orange fancy suit and all. And still a haircut. Yeah! Sorry, Mr. Buckminster. Didn't mean to get off subject there. Sheesh, Buckville didn't even say anything. To answer your question, yes, I kept an eye. Nope, both of them, in fact, on the foyer.
Hold it!
Could you describe to the court who you can consider fishy looking? Someone fishy and shifty, like, you know, like they're about to steal something. He's just describing himself. I wonder why Mr. Flitch didn't see Tamatoro. Maybe Drink's the only thing she saw Tamatoro. Or maybe Mr. Flitch is lying. And if he's lying, we might be able to spot a contradiction in his testimony. Oh, I knew the contradiction like the whole time.
Objection!
Don't lie to the court like that, Mr. Flitch. Hey. It ain't right to push back a fellow like that. Unfortunately for you, I have evidence that proves that you're lying. If you look at this TV listing here, you see that at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled. Something you never miss. Yuck! I didn't watch that one. No, sorry. I was doing my job just like I was supposed to. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Flitch, someone even circled the map. It was you, right? Yikes! Not only that, you even told me that you watched it. You said, and I quote, it was a complete disaster. Ugh! So, did you admit to slacking off? You can't trick me with your Rudy Pooty to lawyer talk. I wasn't in lawyer mode. I'm one of the most personal types too. I can double duty watching TV and the foyer at the same time. The only thing Fletch can claim to be is a professional C. Mr. Justice, you will have this court believe that the witness. You would have this court believe the witness was slacking off. That's correct. He claims to have been watching TV and the foyer at the same time. But that's nothing but a bald-faced lie. Bald, you say? But I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you meant the witness, Mr. Justice. Okay, just because Blackwell calls you your baldness, just because it's the evidence that you're bald, I was not talking about you, Your Honor. And in that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. You claim Mr. Flitch is lying about watching the TV in the foyer simultaneously. Now prove it.
Take that!
Please take a look at the direction the TV is facing in this diagram. Now, unless Mr. Flitch had eyes on where his right ear should be, I think it'd be possible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time. Why, yes, someone's watching TV in there possibly couldn't see the entrance. Exactly. And that means, Mr. Flitch, you were slacking off and were not watching the foyer as you claimed. Yikes! The bag's out of the cat. I mean, the other way around. Order. But Mr. Justice, if Mr. Flitch's less than stellar work ethics are relevant in the case, it is very relevant because while he was slacking off watching TV, there could have been a Tamatoro impersonator in the foyer.
Objection!
What now? Granted that Tanuki was lax as duties, but he still had the foyer entrance covered. What are you talking about? This. I'm not a mind reader. Ah! Auditory senses. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were Sir Heller, right, Tanuki? They were? Yeah, I mean, yes, they were. But you already admitted to slacking off. Now you say you weren't? But my eyes might be lazy, but my ears ain't. I would have hurt anyone in the foyer. You see, the foyer floors, the stairways get all creaky and squeaky with some walks in them. Creak, creak. Loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon. So you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by? Yep! My ears are working full time, so who's the liar now? You good no shiter. A lying thief calling me a shiter. This has to be a low point of my fleeting career. My fledgling career. Gotta hand it to you, Mr. Backbuster. Yeah, really, you are something else. I mean, you didn't miss a thing. And them bigs under your eyes. They're darker than mine. Fair warning, Mr. Flitch. Taka is particularly fond of Tanuki. Should you lie to this court again, you may suddenly find yourself on the menu. Thanks! Please don't leave me, Mr. Taka, sir. The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful bird attacks. With that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly. It's true, I was watching the pro wrestling match on the office TV. My ears like half my ears, they were working overtime. The floor there all squeaky like no way I would miss someone walking by. So you see, there was no Tematoda in the foyer. Superstition is the religion of the feeble minds. What? Understand. A simple, rational explanation is best. Forget yokai, demons, and such. You must use common sense. And lacking that, our entire world would be but upside down. Says the convict prosecutor, who is totally a sign of end times for the legal world. And besides, if there was any yokai roaming about, I'd nab them and sell them to the zoo. I wonder whether Jinxie was really just seeing things. It seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns. If we can't prove she saw Tematoda, then we're sure to be convinced. Convicted. Then we better hope my guns fires bullets, not BBs. Wait, I thought we were talking in sword eulogies. What kind of eulogies are we talking about now? What eulogies are we? Did Apollo just bring a knife to a sword fight? I mean, a gun to a sword fight?
Hold it!
You are paid for your work, aren't you? How do you justify watching TV on the job? It ain't easy being me. I mean, I can't watch TV when we have visitors. There's no way to record stuff. Sorry, am I supposed to be consoling you for over your first world problems? Those are his only problems. He should consider himself lucky. I guess pro wrestling is a serious business, Mr. Fletch.
Hold it!
You lied earlier about taking your guard duty seriously, didn't you? That ain't no harm in bending the truth a little, right? Court of law! Listen to me, you little Tanuki. Lie again, and Taka shall feast upon that forked tongue of yours. I like Taka. Yeah! So sorry, let me keep my tongue. At least leave it until we get to the truth out of him in any case. You were negligent on your duties, were you not? Yes, sir, I was, sir, but I ain't like that.
Hold it!
So you have pretty good ears, Miss Flitch. As good as they come, I say. I ain't nothing to your creaky floor. Plus, that Tematoda makes a sound when he goes by. It would go jingle, like a jingle jingle. Jingle jangle. How does he do that? It's that staff of his. That's what Jingle Jingles. What's he talking about, Apollo? It's me. But I guess Tamatoro has a staff that makes noise. Come to think of it, didn't Jinxie mention something like that too? She said that she saw Tamatoro holding a staff-like object that made a jingly sound. I guess that's the source of the noise then. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Flesh does send Jingle Jingles. Would you consider that vital information? Very important. Extremely vital. I request that it be added to his testimony. If Tamatoro was to pass by, his staff would go jingle, jingle, jingle.
Hold it!
So Tamatoro's staff makes a distinctive sound. Yep, it's like a jingle jangle and a jangle. Wait, Jinxie said something like that? Something about him making a jingly sound. I think we are missing something here, but I can't quite put a finger on it. Perhaps I should take a look at the court record again. Or I could just press the next statement.
Hold it!
Please tell the court what did Jinxie see if it was not Tamatoro? She's always going on about seeing this yokai or that. Just an act of imagination, I reckon. She won't even come near me because she thinks I'm some sort of tanuki monster. Can't say I blame her. So, Mr. Flitch, you chalk it up to a child's active imagination. Yep. No Tamatoro or anyone else got out of that. Nor anyone else got in or out of Cubai Manor on my watch. Hello, what could this mean? Do you think Jinxie was just seeing things? Well, if that's the case, the details she proved were pretty impressive. But if we were to continue believing Jinxie's statements, we'd have to uncover Flinch's lie. Right, or find out why he can't tell the truth. This is going to be a little bit of a long shot.
Objection!
Tamatoro's staff would make a jingly jangly sound, you say? Well, I'm going to say that your story doesn't add up. Is there something the defense would like to share with the court? Mr. Flitch, you said that you didn't see Tamatoro on the day of the incident. Why didn't you assume just now that Tamatoro would be holding a staff? Huh. You see that the Tamatoro Jinxie saw held a staff in his hand. And she describes the sound as you did. Kind of a jangly sound. Yeah, so he was holding a staff. What's the point?
Objection!
The point is that Tamatoro doesn't use a staff. Not normally. What are you talking about? You see, this is the only known document depicting Tamatoro. Is there a staff in that picture, Mr. Flitch? You're right. There is no staff. Not even a cane or a walking stick. Yak. So the question is, why does the witness say staff? I believe the answer will overturn the prosecution's case on the most basic level. Well now, this is getting interesting. Alright, Mr. Justice, it's time to Oh, the court, where you're going with this. Yeah, I'll definitely let you know. I'll think about it. Mr. Fletch actually saw Tamatoro right after the crime occurred. That's the only way he could possibly know about the staff. But busted again! Bloody hell! You dubious little... Yes, how does that feel, Blackwell? Not so fun when you're on the receiving end of the blade, is it? Admit it, Mr. Fletch. You did see Tamatoro that day, didn't you? Well? I'm begging ya. Please don't make me say it! But clearly you did see Tamatoro. And stop stalling and testify to that fact. No can do, no way, no how. You ain't got no idea how terrifying he can be. He? Mr. Fletcher still won't admit to seeing Tamatoro, even though everyone knows he did. The question now is, why? Mr. Fletcher's scared to death. Is that why he can't admit the truth? Come to think of it. They say you must not gaze upon the Toro, but in the event that you do, look, and then tell anyone else, tell what you saw, Tamatoro will claim your soul. Thinks he wouldn't admit to seeing Tamatoro after hearing about the village's superstitions. She said that if she told anyone that she had seen Tamatoro, he would claim her soul. Wait, you think Fletch believes that too? Yeah! So Mr. Big Time City Slicker Lawyer has heard about him. Them old village superstitions. Will the defense please explain what the witness is talking about? The people of Ninetale Vale believe that some pretty strange things, and their superstitions may be the reason our witness can't admit the truth. Can't admit the truth. The truth that he really did see Tamatoro. Darn straight, that's why! It's all right, The village superstitions. Do not gaze upon Tamatoro. Do not tell others if you see him. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. There is, however, one way to save it. Your immediate departure from the village. Freeing him will bring ruin upon the village. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. See? That's why us folks in Ninetale Vale can't talk about seeing Tamatoro. That clears up one mystery. The killer took advantage of the superstitions by wearing a Tamatoro costume. They knew that no one would talk about him. That no one could talk about him, so it's as if he never existed. The defense holds to that this Tamatoro impersonator is the true killer. What?
Objection!
Superstitions, you say? What kind of fool would actually believe such rubbish? And would that using some silly fairy tale could be so easily exposed to culprit? You need to come up with a more rational, common sense explanation than that.
Objection!
Your common sense is awfully narrow-minded to me, Prosecutor Blackwell.
Objection!
Try living in my world, narrow cells, mortal danger, and dark, sleepless nights. There is no lack of superstitions in the clink, but few are those who truly believe in them.
Objection!
Well, the village superstitions are real enough to the people of Ninetales Vale. A life or death superstition might even make you a believer. Ah! Order, I say! You fool of a Tanuki! You 2 times now! 2 times now, your lies have cost me! Sorry. I promise not to do it again. Taka, my fine feathered friend. Have at him. Hey, he's gonna eat me alive. Head for the hills! Ah! He took off. But bailiff, what are you waiting for? After him! And faster, and with your fastest men. That certainly is not something you see every day. Get used to it, Cena. So how things work here. Well, it would seem that a new important fact has come to light. A third party disguised as the yokai Tematoro was at the scene, and now we have 2 witnesses who can attest to that fact. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? That was a lot of dots. Oh. What? Huh? Ah! His shackles. Ah! I'm too young to die. Justice Dono, long has it been since I've been forced to draw my blade. You had best to say your prayers. The judge just goes. Detective, do something! Ha ha ha! And the field full of fear, Fulbright is here! And justice we trust! When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going! To get going already before he kills us! But I stand in awe of Sammy Blackwell, for it is a sense of justice that sets him free! Objection! Objection! I object to Detective Fulbright's definition of justice!
Silence.
I'm not in the habit of cutting down unarmed cowards. Well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, can I ask you to, you know, I think the judge forgot he's in charge here. So, Justice Dono's assertion is this. Tomotaro is the real killer, not Mayor Tenma. According to him, there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Right. And that yokai, or rather, whoever was impersonating him, killed Emerald Kobai.
Silence.
That! Care to explain why Jinxie, being the first to discover the murder, did not see your alleged killer yokai right there in the Fox chamber? What? That's right. She said nothing about Tomotaro being in the Fox chamber. Let me enlighten you. A little scrimp heard a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door. And your point is... Upon opening the door, she found a freshly skewered victim, the Elderman. And the homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor. No, there must have been some... Ah! Then, why does that little scamp claim not to seen a yokai in the Fox chamber? Considering her father is the accused of murder, surely she would have mentioned a third party that might have been in the room. I don't understand. Why didn't she see Tomotaro inside the Fox chamber? There is but one way to find out. Ask Tenma whether she saw your killer at the scene of the crime. Uh-oh. The final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. Long has my blade thirst for blood. At long last it shall be sated. Wait, this is still a trial, right? Show me what you're truly capable of. Justice Dono. I can't show you what I'm truly capable if I can't perceive the witnesses. As the court will take a 10-minute recess in order to... Ah! 3 minutes. I'm sorry, but a 3-minute recess. Just so, plenty of time for your destination. Intent is the loo. The loo? You mean the bathroom? God. Sheesh. At least include enough of time to wash our hands. Really, Apollo? It takes you 3 minutes just to go to the bathroom? See that you take no more than 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished. Yes, sir. I here declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins. I declare Prosecutor Bagquiller the winner of this round of Simon Says. Doesn't bode well for us if the prosecutor is running the show, does it? Welcome back to Whose Court Is It Anyways? Where the points don't matter, where the accusations are pointless and the objections don't matter. Was that how it was? I would have to look back at Turnabout Christmas last year's Turnabout Christmas, as in 2024, not 2023. Just so you guys know. April 18th, 10:40 a.m. District Courtroom, the defendant lobby, number 3. He busted out of his shackles. Yeah. What was that all about? Guess it. Don't make sure it was like these two. Better be careful, Apollo. You really brought the samurai in him. Especially after you proved that there was a Tenma Toro impersonator at the manor. What does that guy in those whole samurai act anyways? Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it is high time I challenge the jailhouse prosecutor to a duel. No, wait! Let's end the dueling until after we prove your innocence! We don't need more charges on your hands here, sir. I suppose it could wait until later. Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? I do, Apollo. I remember. Cena, I'm gonna wash up. Remember what Blackwell said, Apollo. Don't be late. April 18th at 10:43 a.m. District Courtroom number 4. Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, a maid at Kyobrayan. I believe we can proceed now. If the witness is ready, that is. Indiana, leader of the 100 demons, he really does exist! Wow. That is one well-polished tray. The witness will show her face while in court. Her testimony will be indomitable. What is this, my child? Begone, Naruhana, leader of one of the 100 demons. Oh, you think I'm a yokai? Well, I was once a judicial monster of sorts. The beast of the bar, the demon of the dew, will proceed, if you will. My term has no effect! The demon of due process. Not sure I can see that one. Now, you little scramp. Yes! I trust you know why you're here. Bags? Bags? Oh, was that Trixie Tanuki? Try the noodle stick, and go enjoy a big bowl of Tanuki tail noodles while you're at it. Everyone's a comedian. No, I mean, your bags. The ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. Here, this charm will keep the executory away. Executory? The yokai that washes Zuki beans. thing needing to be washed. The only thing needing to be the washing will be your father's neck after I take his clean head off. Takaya often keeps people up at night with noises he makes washing beans. But if you stick to his arm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore. Is that so? Well, thank you. Looks like Prosecutor Puckbull just got more than he bargained for. I've had enough alone, but together, those two are just plain creepy. Your testimony, if you please, Miss Temma. Especially whether or not you saw Temma Toro when you discovered the crime scene. What Jinxie saw. I did see Temma Toro in the box chamber. Well, when I opened the door, I saw, yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in the room. So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime scene. Lots of them. Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tamatoro happen to be among them? I don't know. I just don't know. All I know is that room was swimming in yokai. Kasha, Nukabare, Satsutoro. They're all there! Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. Now we've gone from no yokai to a flood of them. This is ludicrous. You would have this court listening to this delusional little Scramp's testimony. Yeah!
Hold it!
Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. But a quick therapy session should ease her mind. With the court's permission, of course. What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. You sure you know what you're doing, Asina? She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene, and the fear of testifying having her dazed and confused. A regular ball of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help. Any objections, Prosecutor Buckwell? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed? It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we'll be getting any evitable testimony. She better be served by bearing witness to a sword skill I forged in a distant land. I shall show you. When I opened the door, so now I remember. Yokai right there in the room. Found something. Looks like an out of control emotion. What are we exactly looking at here? Oh, this is one of its functions. Right here, you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. Whoa, you mean that little thing can do all this? Pretty cool, huh? Here I thought it was just some kid's toy. Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflowing error right now. See how sad is the brightly lit here at the bottom left? She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It seems the shared terror she experienced had made her confusion a mess. So, all those yokai she thinks she saw are the product of a rampant emotion? Yes, that's right. Her fear has instilled in her hallucinations and false memory. She's seeing normal everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma. And the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear. So she was, and still is, seeing ordinary objects as yokai. Well, we have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now let's see. Now look, Apollo, can you point out the yokai in the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Start off by pressing probe. Q. Next, point to cause Jinxie out of control motion. Finally hit probe again to try and get the heart out of the get to the heart of the matter. Okay, let's give it a try. This a try.
Got it!
Jinxie, what's the name of that yokai in the Wheel of Fire? On a Wheel of Fire? That's Kasha, a yokai that steals the body of the recently deceased. I bet it came to steal the admins. It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation. Exactly. It's a form of hallucination where the patients can't see things that for what they really are. There must be something at the scene that she's mistaking for Akasha. Apollo, you need to point out what she saw was a yokai on the Wheel of Fire. I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, that wasn't a Akasha you saw.
Take that!
The light fixture? This one right here. It has a flame design up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. The Kasha you saw was just the light fixture. That's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now you got the hang of it. Shouldn't be a pinch to point out the rest. Jinxie, what about the white wall-like monster? That's a yokai, a wall monster that blocks your ways and leads you astray. That's no yokai, Jinxie. Just a folding screen. And this raccoon dog isn't a tanuki monster. It's just the statue of one. And look, these are just coffee cups. And this right here is nothing more than a fox statue. I don't know, what was I thinking? Yeah, you did it, Polar! Your extreme fear is under control now. It was all just my eyes. Tricks on me. There weren't any yokais after all. See? A clear-cut statement. That's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the Fox Chamber. Right. There never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion. Wait, Jinxie, what about the Tematoro? There wasn't anyone dressed up as Tematoro or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now. You're gotta be joking! Order! Order in the court! I think we just dug our own grave. Allow me to push you in. It's the least I could do. No! Apollo! Can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? Still picking up on some noise. It's an unexpected emotion. Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet? Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter in the new information we have and run an update. I was scared when I entered the room. I was so scared when I entered the room. My legs gave out and I fell to the floor. There in the Fox Chamber I saw the Elderman dead on the table and Papa collapsed in chair. Nobody else was there, and that includes Tamatoro. Wait, what am I supposed to do? Try to find the emotion that contradicts her statement. So if I find a contradiction emotion, I should point it out. Okay. Wait, hold on. This might be a little crazy. But why is her distress so high in that statement? Wait. This seems like an unnatural reaction. Really? Because I don't see it that way. So isn't it unexpected given her testimony? Hello? Is there anybody in there? Just not if you can hear me. Yes, there's someone at home. That someone's going to try again. The amount of fear you felt is rather low, despite your lives have giving out from frights. Could something else have lessened your fear? Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment. You did? Where did it come from? Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as she was there with me. Okay, I'll enter suddenly a burst of courage. Now let's see. Ah! Look! Apollo, the noise is all gone. Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now. A sudden burst of courage. Now, where could have that come from? Jinxie, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage? Yes, it was, I realized that I had done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what could have given Jinxie that courage? Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if she saw something like that at the scene of the crime. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have anything to do with this?
Take that!
Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a nine-tailed flower there at the crime scene, did you? Ah! The demon lawyer strikes again! I couldn't hide anything from you! Not a demon. I found a small case. It was a picture of a nine-tailed flower on it. I liked it so much, so I kept it. You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene. That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Tell that to Maya Fey. Now, the witness will produce and said evidence this instant. Sorry. It does seem rather some sort of the case. Oh, look, something slid out. It appears to be a key. Might I have a look at your boldness? I like how Taka just takes it for him. Ah! This is none other than the master key to the Keybind Manor. Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackwell? It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder. A master key that went missing? I don't like the sound of that. Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequences. That's a little bit melodramatic, don't you think? Hence these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the Fox Chamber has been in this scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who could have used it before, during, and after the murder. Which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl. And your point is... Until Jinxie Tema opened the Fox Chamber with her key, the room had been locked tight from the outside world. And there was no one else in there save the victim, his killer. I trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. Yep, I know what that means. A killer other than Mayor Tema himself would utterly be inconceivable. No!
Objection!
How could this happen? The defense assertion will refrain from growling in frustration. Athena, are you alright? Ugh, I know Mayor Tema's innocent, but there's nothing we can. Is there nothing we can do? This sucks. Psychodona, allow me to put you out of your misery. Can I decline your offer? Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let's relieve of the clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. That will make the inconceivable guilty verdict far easier to accept. Great. Now he's playing Simon Says with us! Well, he's not gonna fool us with his stupid mind games. Yeah! Stupid! Athena, don't fall for his tricks. Now I'm the one who's dazed and confused. Can't even think straight. That's gay, cause you're gay! Kidding. She might be gay. We don't know. Hey, are you alright? She fell right into his trap. Now I suggest you make a mad dash for the courtroom to a wild blue yonder. Only by running you shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed. Alright! I'm back! I'll be back in 10... Stay with me, Athena! Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai! Apollo? Mr. Justice? I heard the word objection, but what is it to you object to? Athena being back in 10! She's gonna stay right here next to my side! Oh, right! That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. I thought I was hoping something would come to mind while I was trying to stop Athena. It's like... it's just like in Turnabout Samurai. Objection! What are you objecting to? I thought I would come up with something while I was yelling objection. Alright, moving on. Objection! Not this time either, Your Honor. The court is waiting, Mr. Justice. Thought as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills a suspect, if that is. Now, do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case? The air duct would be too stupid. Well, actually, I do! I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine! Apollo! You have to be something more than your cords of steel. You have something more than your cords of steel, don't you? Not really. My world will be fine! But, I got absolutely nothing. That's never stopped me before. I have to explain the real killer could have escaped that locked room. Because it's all over if I don't. Apollo! This calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box! Oh, we didn't even have to have Mr. Wright tell us that. Or in this case, inside the box. That's what a dizzy locked room is, too. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's argument? You bet I do! The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another. Big Contra should only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono. Time to do or die, literally! The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room. You sure about this, Apollo? You didn't really explain what happened. I'm fine! You just need to think this whole escaping the locked room thing over from the... So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so? Their choices are pretty limited. The room had a window, but... it doesn't appear wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's no thing you can stand on to reach it. Needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out. Yeah, that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. We need to rule out all possibly impossible escapes routes. Then whatever's left might lead us to the Fox Chambers, how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escapes through here. The front doors. The hallway doors? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key and... How would one exit the Fox Chamber and lock it without a key? I should have seen this coming. Remember, Apollo, keep it simple. Simple, right. I could understand if the killer had exited the room with a key, but... well, Mr. Justice? The prosecution has some fine Japanese steel waiting unless you can explain yourself quickly. I'm fine. I can explain myself. The reason the Fox Chamber hallway door was locked because... what if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the keys through the hallway door and then locked the ouch. Consider this. The master key was found inside, tightly locked the Fox Chamber. Any assertion that the key was removed from the room was blatant contradiction of this fact. Wait a second. How did we enter the room? We saw the murder. Maybe someone threw it in from the hallway when Jinxie opened the door. That would explain. Ah! Perhaps we should ask the little scamp herself. When you opened the Fox Chamber, did you witness anyone throw the master key inside? Sir, I didn't see anyone else there. Oh. What a pity. Or perhaps then you intend to accuse the witness of murder. You leave me no choice. A penalty for random speculation and lack of foresight. Ugh. I guess someone got the key into that locked room. What if someone threw it into the room from the outside? You know, something like go out the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back through the window. That would explain how the master key would be locked in the inside the locked room. And where would they throw it from? The cliffs outside the Fox Chamber's window? Throwing the key from there is an impossibility. Oh, right. Ah! I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere else other than the window. Somewhere else other than the window. Could the key have been tossed in through somewhere other than the window?
Take that!
The air vent? Yes! The window may be out of the question, but the air vent is not. Oh, that's right. The Fox Chamber's air duct. It leads outside the hallway. That's right. The real killer entered the air duct from the vents from the outside the Fox Chamber. Then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber. Ah! That's preposterous. Ooh, that explains how the key got in the key after it was locked the door perfectly. Mr. Justice. I'm afraid I'm a bit confused. Don't worry. I'll explain it even so your honor can understand. First, the real killer, disguised as Tamatoro, murdered the element in the Fox Chamber. Then they fled the room to the hallway and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside in the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. All was left to do after that was to go back through the air duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer? Amazing. Even I could follow that. The judge seems really pleased. He even raised his gavel. That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed like Tamatoro. And there was someone else at the room other than the mayor and the admin in that room. Hey, it looks like that lawyer has beaten the jailbird prosecutor. Whoa, that's totally a turn. What a total. And that's the forehead of it seems so much more attractive now. Order! Order! I say! Now that I've proven the possibility of a third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty.
Silence.
A valiant effort, Justice Dono. But your final thrust missed its mark. Huh? Both that little scamp and the trickery Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then what? What did that yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz right out the front door? That's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the— Ouch! But that's impossible, without being spotted by the foyer security camera, that is. The electric eye here would have captured any pristine little yokai trying to escape. However, there is no sight of Tematoro anywhere in the security footage. What? Save it for the foyer entrance. There's no other way to flee the manor, is there? I don't feel so good. Wait! I believe there is some other way to escape besides the foyer's entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through the window without being seen by the security camera. Hey, you're right.
Silence.
Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems you lack not only brains, but investigation prowess to boot. That is the cliff side of the manor. The only killer escaping that way would be a dead one. No! Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window? What the heck, Wright? I suppose your next proposal is that the killer sprouted wings and flew off into the sunset. That would mean the killer was really a yokai. Wait. If we had some sort of evidence that could point to a falling killer, who's saying we don't? As completely far-fetched as it might be. Cena, you gave me this! What?! You're saying we can prove the killer could fly?! You're the one who gave me the evidence! Whoa! I thought I was the one with the cords of steel! Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Your Honor? What evidence he has that the killer flew away? Take a look at the special edition paper. Tematoro, real flight or fancy. What does this article prove, Mr. Justice? The photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo is the killer shortly after they fled out the window. Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting. I'm suggesting exactly what you're saying, Your Honor. Oh, I'm serious. And I mean, it all adds up. The killer disguised as Tematoro flew away. You know, by some way or another.
Silence.
It is you, their brain has flown the coop. That image is not but trickery, Thank you. Trick photography or some other form of art facade. Okay, then how about the Tematoro figure that Mr. Fletch saw? It just vanished into thin air. No, there is a rational, common sense explanation for that. The infernal yokai of our Trixie Tanuki witness never reached the entrance. He, or should I say she, turned back before the camera's electric eye. She? I don't like this is where it's going one bit. Now, the fact is that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber. It means that it was likely that either Mayor Damien Tema or his daughter Jinxie Tema. However, we know that Mayor Tema was already unconscious at that time. Well, not good. Not good at all. Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Dono? The falsified yokai remnants. And the appearance of the Tematoro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tema. Ah! No! Order! Order! The defense will stop competing over the greatest freak out. The little scamp was no doubt simply trying to protect her father, and it's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade. Prosecutor Blackwell's assertions make perfect sense to me. It's far more convincing to say that the killer escaped by flying out the window. Did you truly believe this could end up any other way? Did we fall right into his trap? What do we do now, Polo? Our case no longer stands without a real yokai. If only we had one. Bailiff, seize her. It is time I interrogated her as the samurais of your would. Wait, who just yelled hold it? Oh, Miritema? This is for Saar is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul? Tema Toro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor. It would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you've been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Sipping into a yokai costume and roaming around the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution will be willing to overlook her little yokai facade. Confess? The defendant intends to confess? Wait! Polo, Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again. Miritema, no! Don't fall for his twisted words! If you send away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone. The real killer is... Miritema's gonna confess unless we do something? But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away. Caw-caw! Caw-caw! Look upon me in despair, for the ripest time to my return. Uh-oh. I should watch what I wish for. Forest mortal! I am Tematoro, the yokai you seek. Miritema? Silence! I am Tematoro, freed from the bonds bind to me to the forbidden chamber. Behold, the return of the Demon King. But wait, what? Demon King? Well then, I think it's time for me to take a vacation! Witness, he will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tematoro, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time? Indeed, it is I, Tematoro, the one who you seek to come to reveal the truth. This childless Tematoro, you say? Ha ha! What nonsense! So Miritema is a yokai now. Caw-caw! His body is now mine. So you're saying that Miritema is being possessed by you. And that the yokai Inksy saw and Phineas Finch saw. And the one captured in the newspaper photo. Those were all you? The accursed powers from these warding charms prevent me from revealing my true form. Your baldness. Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt? Well, a confession by a yokai would be quite unprecedented. That be it may, the defense case has been overturned. What? Your claim that the yokai that the little scamp saw was some third party. The true killer, the one who escaped from the locked fox chamber, was the accused all along. Ah! Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be a real manner of speaking. Pearl, the Elements killer, is none other than the Miritema. And the yokai at the scene, that too was Miritema. Or should I say, Our dear Tematoro. The pieces have fallen into place. How so, Prosecutor Bockwell? It seems I must spell it out for you. Mayor Tema killed the Alderman in the Fox Chamber, which was locked at the time. Then he removed his warning charms from the Forbidden Chamber door. But then fell unconscious from the blow the Alderman delivered to his head. That's when his daughter Jinxie Tema stumbled upon the scene of the crime. That little scamp fled in terror whereupon the spirits of Tematoro, freed at last from the chamber's warding effect, took possession of the mayor. The newly freed Tematoro then fled from the Fox Chamber. But we saw his body. So you see, the yokai Jinxie Tema saw was her father possessed by Tematoro. But when we arrived on the scene, the mayor was found unconscious. How is that possible if he was supposedly flown out the flyer window? Then what? Do you mean to say that the maid of the Cubai managed Jinxie Tema was the Tematoro? Oh. Ah! Kaka! That too can easily explain. Flew for a bit of time I did, but I presently was tired, so I made it for the Forbidden Chamber. But alas, exhaustion took me unawares in the Fox Chamber, and I knew no more. It would seem the pieces are still in place. Is Blackwell up to his tricks again? I don't know what to say. Is the defendant really a real life? The rumor about Tematoro. I knew you guys are real. You mean he really did kill the Alderman just to release Tematoro? Order! Order! Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai. It's on Simon. It's Simon Says on steroids! He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai. The Prova ducks are now in a row. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty, your baldness. This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system?
Objection!
Mayor Tema is just pretending to be Tematoro to protect his daughter. Plus, I already proved how the third party could have escaped the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature. As both sides have raised valid points, I have no choice but to.
Silence.
This is the dark age of the law where the defense attorneys are not to be trusted. But it is a ploy to gain time for them to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight? Knowing you will not leave the sunrise on the mayor's days of reckoning. Justice, don't know.
Objection!
I won't fabricate any evidence.
Silence.
Then prove it by joining me. A night in the clink will assure you will not succumb to temptation. How about I just promise not to succumb to anything? We both have evidence and a confession. The killer is this yokai before us. It is beyond debate. A guilty verdict is all, but... What's wrong with him? Prosecutor Buckwell, we had enough of your hijinks! The foundation of justice is fair play, and you're in serious violation of that! What in the devil was that? Fulbright, have you tampered with my shackles in some manner? Ha ha! I see you found that quite shocking! Quite literally. It's my social joltal justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave. You shall pay for this. I, Simon Blackwell, vow to... Your Honor! You need not fear now. I believe Prosecutor Blackwell will remain on his best behavior. A bit late with the reassurances, aren't we, Detective? Well, in that case... This concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned. Yay! scared of the prosecutor! The hot one. Well, I mean, to be fair, all the prosecutors are hot. Anyways, return to game menus. We gotta change the music before we finish. It's tradition. Oh yeah, I'm gonna change it to. Do we? Yeah. So you know what that means? We're ending for tonight. I got a late start and things happen, and yeah, I need to get to bed. So I'll be back Thursday for more. But for now, and I think we'll be back for Saturday for more Stardew and all that jazz. Let's raid someone. Ooh, I got choices tonight. Actually, it's just 4 choices. So you know what that means? Dice. Okay, where's my duck dice? Where's my duck D4? Okay, we're gonna roll the duck dice. 2. Awesome it is. You're playing some Dead by Daylight. So, let's go and enjoy and give them lots of love. So, I'll see you guys all Thursday for the continuation of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies.